Hello and welcome to the new video. And today's video we're going to take a look at the most broken core for the current Halloween Cup. The core is going to be the Shadow Scissor together with the Azumarill. This core itself is really broken, as Shadow Scissor only has really one weakness, which is going to be Fire-type Pokemon, which there are a few right now, I have to say. There are quite a few of them, and I do think that Fire-type Pokemon have quite a bit of play in this meta right now as well, especially the Alolan Marowak, which is honestly a Pokemon that I want to try out next. Here as well, maybe today still even on this channel, I have to see. But today we're going to take a look here at a very strong team. This team got me up to 28-22 as the ELO range, which is really good. Like, I'm under 200 points away from hitting Legend, and I don't really take like hitting Legend as like one of my main priorities, because I know that I'm going to be able to do it anyway. Eventually throughout the season. I want to hit Legend this season a little bit earlier than last season. Last season I think I had it 2 weeks before the end. I would like to hit it maybe this week or next week. One of them are going to be fine for me. We see on what's going to happen here, of course. Yeah, generally, I have hit Legend every single season. Every single season. There hasn't been a single GO Battle League season where I haven't hit the highest rank possible. So, yeah, there is just naturally not really a lot of pressure on me with that anymore. So I am not really too worried about it. And so I know that I'm going to be able to reach it eventually anyway. And this team would be definitely a team that could work out for me in this kind of case. We're going to see here the Nidoqueen against us. We are going to be able to go for the Poison Fang here as well. I'm going to keep the energy here as well in order to deal with now the Togekiss. Togekiss needs to go down by the Ice Beam. And hopefully we're going to be able to farm on that Nidoqueen in the first battle just with our fast moves alone. Let's see if this is going to work for us. It is, and we're going to be able to move on to the next opponent. We will face a little bit more of an awkward Pokemon here. Morpeko is kind of the one and only real core breaker for this core here. But we still have play against this Pokemon. It's not that we're going to lose against this Pokemon immediately here. We're going to have our DrGreenMustache, by the way, the Sasop here, which is an interesting Pokemon. I was mainly thinking of actually putting this one on the thumbnail as like the main Pokemon of this video, but I think I might just change to like the best core possible, because that wasn't the main intention here. I just needed a good Sasop in between, and I wanted to have like something a little bit more fun here. That's why we have DrGreenMustache here. DrGreenMustache is a cool Pokemon for this team, by the way, and a cool Pokemon in this meta, as you're going to have Awkward here super fast available, which is kind of the main reason why this Pokemon is so good, as you still have good fast move pressure, but you're going to be able to reach those Awkward hits quite fast against those ground type Pokemon. But here, we're going to see now the Morpeko against our Scissor. Of course, we're going to be forced to use a shield here. I know it's just going to be the Psychic Fangs, but we cannot really take damage on our Shadow Scissor. And so we're going to be able to now go ahead and go for another Night Slash, get the shield from the opponent. We are not going to be able to outspeed them anyway, and that's why I overfarm, and that's why I try to fully farm them down here as well. Not too sure if this is going to work, but as we will see here, the opponent is going to change its form, and they're actually going to be able to still knock us out. That is kind of unfortunate. That is definitely not going to be that nice for us. But we still have our Azumarill left. We can bubble them down. And in the back there is going to be that Murkrow there. Murkrow still gets to move. It's a Shadow Drill pack. But I'm fairly certain that is not going to be enough. And we're going to be able to move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Shadow version of the Sableye. And interesting to note here is that we seemingly do more fast move damage, which is good to know. We also win the CMP tie, which is also good to know, which means in theory, I think we're going to be always win this lead matchup, which is something that I like to see. Because also our backline is kind of a good core together. I expect them to want to swap out soon, and that's why I decided to not go straight for my Night Slash. I overfarm, go for the Trailblaze now, get the shield from the Morpeko, and I can go ahead and go into my DrGreenMustache in order to take resistant fast move damage here. They are forced to go for the Psychic Fangs. I have access to Sludge Bomb, by the way. Sludge Bomb is needed on this Pokemon. I was thinking of like Outrage before, which I said as well in the top team video. Now thinking about it, Sludge Bomb is needed in order to deal with a Pokemon like the Azumarill, especially in a team like this. But as we're going to see here, Aurora is coming through. We're going to be able to shield this move up. And they still have the Sableye, that's alright for us, but now we have both Pokemon really low here, both the Sableye as well as the Morpeko, to the point that Bubble Down is an option on both of them. Now we have energy on our Azumarill, and we have to see what they're going to have in the back in order to deal with this Pokemon. Let's see, it's going to be Drapion. This is not bad. That is absolutely not bad. This is just an Awkward Tail. And I'm curious if they're going to try to catch the move here soon, because they would have maybe soon the option for that. But a Play Rough is now coming through. A Play Rough is going to be able to do a lot of damage here. And I do even a lot of damage with my Scissor, knocking out the Morpeko at the same time and putting them into Bubble Down range. As the charge moves are not really threatening on my Azumarill, I thought that was the best play to give them basically energy there, but taking its health. And this was definitely the best play, as we are going to be able to win this battle like this. Diggersby in this meta. This is the issue, by the way, that I have currently a lot. There was actually other gameplay as well that I recorded that you're gonna still see on the channel as well, because and there are also different team I used as well that worked out quite well. But I just sometimes just went into the wrong meta. So yeah, this is now an open Great League battle. Because of course any team that is eligible for this meta is also eligible for the open Great League. And so that is not really ideal. That's just coming through. It's gonna get them kind of low though, which is kind of cool here as well. In comes the Fire Punch from the opponent. We are going to see here the Jelson coming in next, and we have the Nicedash up against the opponent here as well. This is going to be alright. This is going to allow us to get the shield. And we're going to swap out now into the Azumarill. Yeah, Diggersby is not allowed as far as I know in this meta, which makes sense because we have Pokemon like Nidoqueen. We have Pokemon like Clodsire, which Diggersby would be great against. Even against our team, Diggersby looks kind of great against us. But yeah, this was definitely a mistake by me going into the wrong meta here. Let's take a look at the next matchup here. We're going to see the Jelson going up against us, but they're going to swap out into the Clodsire to catch a move. At least 2 out of their 3 Pokemon are Pokemon that they can use in the current meta. We have to swap out into the DrGreenMustache, going for the Awkward Tail spam. But this is going to be a very close matchup here. As we'll see here, the Awkward Tail is going to get them low. I would need to survive an Earthquake here in order to still have a chance of winning this battle. And luckily, I actually do. With just a few HP left, I am able to go for the Awkward Tail. Going to be able to go ahead and get them super low with that. And then swap out into their Jelson. Can we still win this battle? Sadly, we cannot. I tried to catch the move here, but I went 1 over. I didn't think that the opponent still had that much energy. But they even had more energy, which you're going to see here as well. They're going to be able to reach another move in time. Of course, that maybe mattered a little bit that we went into the wrong meta, but let's move on to the next opponent. Where Drapion awaits us. This is going to be a very solid lead matchup. This is not bad at all. But also, I could just use my Sace up here in order to bait out potential Pokemon that I don't want to face with the rest of my team. And just generally going to be able to have a nice neutral play here. Of course, they catch the Awkward Tail, which is a bit unfortunate. I just want to go for the Awkward Tail against Drapion. But as long as I can go for a Sludge Bomb, I still do some nice damage here, and I get the Sludge Bomb off in time. And what you see as well is with the recent change to the Dragon Tail, we actually get quite fast to moves like the Sludge Bomb, which is really nice to see as well. As you can see as well, the opponent is going to be able to go for the Ice Beam, which is alright. As I can go to my own Azumarill now, as I swap out into literally the funniest Pokemon ever. Like, what the hell is this? This is kind of hilarious to face up against Pumpkaboo, an XL Pumpkaboo. Is a Pokemon that I actually kind of want to play as well. Like, it's such a fun Pokemon. It does not get to 1,500 CP yet, but it's still kind of cool with Foul Play. I think I don't know if the evolution has Foul Play as well, but Pumpkaboo, fun Pokemon to play here. We're going to have to use a shield here against the opponent's Azumarill. Ice Beam is coming through. We're going to have the swap out here now into the Drapion, and this looks like a really tough battle for us. It looks like a battle that's impossible for us to win. Like, literally, I want to give up at this point already. I want to be like, yeah, okay, fair play. You're gonna win this one. But then I saw the opportunity to go for the full farm down with Azumarill. And this opportunity, I couldn't really pass up. As you will see here right now, the opponent is going to be able to now go up into their Azumarill again. And luckily, what we can do next is we are going to be able to just go for another Play Rough. This is going to allow us to go for a nice harder hitting move. Play Rough is coming through, getting the KO, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, next up, let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to have here the Golurk against us. Against Pokemon like Golurk, like Pokemon that, like ground types generally, you just want to play it out with your lead. You just want to play it out. Here, I do assume in this meta you don't want to run Earthquake, I guess? Or do you? I know. I guess you actually want to run Earthquake on a Fortress for like Pokemon like Nidoqueen. But I just decided to let the move go. I can just go for the Awkward Tail spam, which is ideal as well. I'm quite happy with that. And as we're going to see here as well now, we are going to be in a position where we are going to be able to, yeah, just let the move go. This is totally alright. We can try to go for a Night Slash against the opponent. And this should allow us to get the KO against them. In comes again that Golurk. I can take a hit. I try to get the energy. Shadow Punch does some solid damage, but it's not crazy. And they reveal they have the non-Shadow Scissor in the back. And I'm like, I have to go for some charge moves. I have to see in how things gonna go. But I'm not too sure in how this is going to really work out for us. We are forced to, of course, use shields here. They might just go for the Trailblaze, using quite a lot of the energy up here, which is cool. I'm gonna go for another Ice Beam, just trying to get the next shield there as well. I'm not too sure if this is going to work out though. We're gonna get the shield. We're gonna swap out. We're gonna try to go for the Night Slash. And as we will see as well, this is going to be interesting, as now this Night Slash is coming through. This is going to allow us to get not the KO, get them kind of low. In comes Golurk. Azumarill has to deal with like 2 Pokemon here, and sadly, we're barely going to lose here. But again, this was a very, very close one. And yeah, we can move on to the next one. So let's take a look at this. Is going to be here the Fortress. That's going to be alright. We have the Night Slash coming through. And we are going to be able to now go ahead and see what's going to happen against the Fortress. It's going to be the Bug Bite, which is way easier to deal against here for us. It's going to be way, way easier. As now we're going to be able to take resisted damage on every of our Pokemon. Bolts, which is way more difficult for us. So yeah, let's take a look here at this next matchup. It's going to be the Florges coming in. And I have the move. I have the Sludge Bomb. And I can go for the Sludge Bomb, which is going to be quite interesting, as we're now going to see here as well. Sludge Bomb coming through. This is going to allow us to get some nice damage in against them. We're going to try our best to go for the next charge move here. This is going to allow us to get them actually low enough that we can knock them out here, I think. This is going to be very likely just enough to knock them out with a fast move, and we were able to survive the next hit as well. In comes the Dusknoir. Dusknoir is going to be a Pokemon that doesn't do as much damage if they're not Shadow. Like, literally, the difference between Shadow and non-Shadow Dusknoir is crazy. Like, it barely does any damage against the Azumarill, which makes it so much easier for us. And we are going to be able to now just let the move go from the opponent again, most likely. I would still survive this hit. I let this move go, and it's just one more Ice Beam, basically, in order to get the shield. I'm gonna have to shield now because I need to get kind of rid of them as well. As you're gonna see here, this is going to be enough to get the shield. I can stop out. I have the Night Slash stored. The opponent tried to catch the move, and with that, we're going to be able to win this battle. Good game to the opponent, and we can move on to the next one, where we will face the Scissor here. This is going to be interesting. By the way, there are a lot of interesting Pokemon that you can run in this meta as well. There are a lot of teams that I kind of still want to try out as well here for this specific meta. So let me know down below, like, which Pokemon are you mainly interested to see for this meta? I think there are quite a lot of few interesting ones that would be worth looking into. But here we're going to have the Night Slash coming through against the opponent's Scissor. We're going to be able to go for the full farm down against them here with our Azumarill. Of course, we're forced to use a shield here. That's, by the way, the thing as well in this meta. Azumarill is super safe. There's basically next to no real answer to Azumarill. I know Poison-type Pokemon are allowed, but basically all the Poison-type Pokemon are going to be, in a position right now where you need to have kind of a secondary typing that's good for Azumarill. So you have Nidoqueen, where you're going to have super effective fast move damage, and also Ice Beam coming through. You have DrGalgy, where the Ice Beam is super effective against. So basically most of the harder answers, in theory, are still weak to Azumarill, which makes it such a strong Pokemon. We see it here as well against us. Azumarill is just such a good Pokemon for sure. And as we will see here, there's going to be now our own DrGalgy, I guess, coming in against it. We're going to try to go for a Sludge Bomb. I know there's Survivor Hit. I know they have like Ice Beam here, which is going to be a bit more difficult for us. I know that at least survive one hit here. And let's take a look on what they're going to do next. I'm going to go for the Sludge Bomb. It's going to do some sword damage. It's not going to knock them out. Absolutely not. But I might have to like stop out here. Yeah, I have to stop out against the Dusclops. I should be able to survive a hit here. I don't think an Ice Punch especially doesn't do enough damage. I can go for the full farm down. And let's see what's coming in next. It is going to be the Scissor again. I can farm them down, and sadly, I think the opponent has a move start. Yeah, we're barely going to be missing out on the win here. Good game to the opponent, though, and we can move on to the next opponent. So I climbed up quite a bit with this team, which is really, really nice to see. Yeah, the Danny in the lead is a matchup that's actually kind of alright for us. We are just going to be able to, go ahead and go for the Night Slash, do some nice damage there, and just try to farm them down afterwards. This is going to allow us to now see here as well the Lostheart coming in, where Azumarill is going to be able to take any hit here. Everything is going to be resisted, which is great, because we have now the Night Slash still coming in, which is going to, like, lay down, basically. We have that start for lay down, which is going to be perfect. And we're going to have here no pressure from the opponent. Everything is going to be resisted. The Orchid is resisted. The Fury Kid is resisted. The Exit is resisted. The only move I think that this Pokemon actually learns as a charge move that's not resisted is Aerial Ace, which is garbage, and nobody is actually ever going to run this anymore, especially after the recent change there. It's kind of funny, but here we're still gonna see the opponent trying to boost, which is alright. But we actually have another Pokemon that resists everything from Golisopod, which is going to be our DrGreenMustache, so we have 2 hard answers for it. In comes though here now the Greninja. They of course are going to use a shield here, as we will see the swap out into the DrGreenMustache. We are going to be able to take the hit, and we are going to now try our best to still win with our Pokemon. I should have maybe even stayed in for a little bit with our Scissor, to be fair. As now Night Slash is not going to do enough damage though against us. The Awkward Tail is not going to be... It's not stab, it's going to be resisted, but they're still going to have to shield because this Pokemon basically has no bulk at all. And I could just literally win with my Scissor at this point. They just gotta let their Greninja go down anyway, and with that, this game is over. I don't know what they try to do with it, to be fair. So, let's take a look at, the next one. We're going to have here the Drifblim coming in. This is going to be interesting for us. We're going to be able to go for the Awkward Tail spam. This is still going to do some solid damage against them. It's like we're still going to pressure them, which is kind of the funny thing. I can use a shield here. It's going to be the Icy Wind, of course, which is going to be debuffing our attack. But at the end of the day, we either going to be able to realign. I think we actually would be able to realign on the 2 shields, just because on how much damage we just do with a Dragon Tail and how fast we generate energy, because we just get to the Awkward Tail so incredibly fast. And now we can even go for a Sludge Bomb against the opponent's Murkrow, which is going to do so much damage. We try to snipe them here. It didn't work out, but even against Morpeko here, I can use a shield and I can still get them low. This is still going to be a bit awkward though, because now they're going to be in a form that I don't really want to face them in against. I can go for the Trailblaze to do more fast move damage, which is kind of more my goal here for this matchup itself. But they're actually going to be able to get out of here with quite a bit more health than I wanted them to. And so I have to try to catch the move here. I'm going to go into my Azumarill and I'm going to try to catch the move on to my DrGreenMustache. They swap out in time, and with them getting the move off here, they're sadly going to win the final battle. But that's going to be it for this video. The Scissor plus Azumarill core is honestly really, really good. I would recommend you to definitely give it a try. I climbed up quite a bit with this team, and that's going to be it. See you then.